Shalom, my name is Yehoshua Yaakov, and this video is being made from Jerusalem. I'm a didactic scientist, and a lot of people were angry at the poor answer. Specifically, the video answered the challenge, quote, "You have to name for me an ethical statement that was made or a moral action, was performed by a religious person." That's me, Reb Yehoshua. Close parens, in the name of faith, end quote. It could not have been made as an action or uttered as a statement by a person, not of faith or of no faith. That's what's on offer, end quote. That's Hitch's challenge. Okay, and the answer that I gave, and I repeat again herein, so that it's clear, it's unambiguous, is, quote, "The truth is the information that never changes, parenthetically and finally changing, parenthetically in intentionality, close parens, full stop, end quote." Okay. Basically, this answer has a context, which is the non-local collapse of the local reality, which I observed 18 years ago, in the context of its solution, which is Humanomics in general, and its central organizing principle. And what is Humanomics? Humanomics is the new East-West convergence model. And its central organizing principle is receive to give, which is the new cognitive behavioral science first paradigm, and the author of both. And I was put off and significantly annoyed, which I shouldn't have been, with Christopher's performance. So I shouldn't have answered the way I did. Okay, so apologies notwithstanding, let me move on. I put back to Chris his challenge, and my proposed question really is the paradox to dilemma to dichotomy access, and I refuse to explain it, and perhaps I should very briefly in the context of receiving to give. As I spoke of just a minute or two ago, what we're looking at in terms of a solution to the collapse of the local reality, which ends man and mankind's separation and exile, in the world that Chris so bombastically boasts. There's no God and there's no purpose to creation, and this naive interpretation of Nietzsche's nihilism and its philosophic materialism that ends in the common framework of atheism is just a non-starter. It's bombast. In today's context, the statement that I made relates to the very emergence of the paradox that that man and mankind faces. It derives from the basic question of who am I? Since the collapse of the local reality, it's commonly perceived as a dilemma of man, and its importance is very great because it's a challenge we all face, and therefore we have to address the denial, which is the common phenomenon that's observed anthropologically, sociologically, and in the condition of man and mankind around the globe. Why? Because the denial reveals the paradox, the limited dichotomy access, and when we end the denial, we deconstruct ground zero of the collapsed local reality, and we begin to ascend the learning curve and understand that there is, from the Bell theorem, a non-local, very significant reality that really reveals and confirms an entirely another world and phenomenon that is quite new and quite mysterious to physics at the subparticle level. Most the religious see it as the spiritual level. Well, I think that Bell was intending to reconcile Einstein and Bohr's common grievances, but nonetheless, his Bell theorem produced the incredible insight into the inequality and the incompleteness of the quantum theory. And so we're in another world. We're in a new world, and add to that, here we have the common assent of the rhetoric of the God delusion and atheism at the time, that the blessed creator of the cosmos and creation, in his infinite compassion and wisdom and mercy, has collapsed the local reality, bringing an end to man and mankind's separation from the God of the cosmos and his authentic self, which he's never known. And this is a phenomenal event. It was first observed by me in 1991, February 26th, and it was repeated the same year, December 25th, 1991, in the Soviet Union, the old former Soviet Union. And what collapsed on December 25th, 1991 in the former Soviet Union? Communism. And the next year in Yugoslavia, again, the local reality there collapsed. What was its local reality? Communism. In Israel on November 5th, 1995, the murder of Rabin brought the collapse of its local reality, which was Zionism. We've seen it since in Iraq. We've seen it in Lebanon. We've seen it with the World Trade Center, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm not going to go into all of the esoterics and details, but the essential purpose or point of this video is to answer the challenge which Christopher Hitchens claims on television. There were no takers. I accepted his challenge and I answered his specious question, and the answer was, and I repeat again, quote, "The information is the truth that never changes, parenthetically, in finality, close parens, changing, parenthetically, in intentionality, close parens," end quote. And this is, I repeat again, the paradox to dilemma to dichotomy access, and it's profound in its insight, and yet it has a very elegant simplicity. Basically, it's central to the logic of the solution of the collapse of the local reality, which brings us to the East-West convergence model, which is Humanomics in general, and its central organizing principle, which is receive to give, and its core technology from this cognitive behavioral science first principle. Its core technology is identity resolution, and the central logic of that identity resolution in particular is the paradox to dilemma to dichotomy access, and that's really the essence of the logic of truth is the information that never changes. Parenthetically in finality, close parens, changing, parenthetically in intentionality, end quote. That is the answer to Christopher's question. He said that he challenged it. I challenged back and said, for reasons that I'm not now explaining, because he's been ducking it and hiding and pretending and having people attack me. But the fact is, his challenge has been answered. It's far more sophisticated than is Mr. Christopher Hitchens, who is not a scientist, doesn't pretend to be a scientist, but he does produce some pretty arrogant, bombastic, specious noise with his philosophical materialism and atheism, which is nothing more than a pretext to attack spiritual values and belief, which he's quite ignorant about. That said, we wish you Kabel B'Shvilutet, that's the blessing from Jerusalem, receiving to give. I'm Yehoshua Yaakov, the didactic scientist and author of Humanomics and its central organizing principle, receive it to give. Thank you.